Welcome to Beyond Bite Wings, the business side of dentistry, brought to you by Edwards & Associates PC. Join us as we discuss how to build your dental practice, optimize your income, and plan for your future. This podcast is distributed with the understanding that Edwards & Associates PC is not rendering legal, accounting, or professional advice. Listeners should consult with their business advisors before acting on any of the information that is shared. At Edwards & Associates PC, our business is the business of dentistry. For help or more information, visit our website at eandassociates.com. Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Bite Wings. My name is Ash, and in today's episode, we have CJ Carroll with Dental Intelligence. I was fortunate enough to run into him at the SWDC convention, and I've been getting questions from clients and other audience members, listeners, about how to look at analytics, reports, if it's something that should even be invested in. And I figured, why not bring in an expert who can talk more about it?
Yeah, it's great to be here, for sure.
Right. Thank you for agreeing to be on this episode.
You mentioned that a lot of your clients use us, so it's great to know that we're out there in the industry. Obviously, we work with over 12,000 practices, so it makes sense that you run into it some. Right. But those that are financially aware or financially conscious of the actual growth of their practice usually have something like us and you. So it's a common synergy between the two companies, for sure. Right.
Okay. So tell a little bit about Dental Intelligence and what it does. So it's the reports, and then we're the translators.
Yeah.
Right.
So we provide real-time sync with Dentrix, Eaglesoft, and Open Dental to provide practices common insights to what normally they miss. All of the information that we have is available in the practice management software, but it's more difficult to pull manually than what our reports do. So it provides a user-friendly interface for them to not only see the data, but know how to act on that data.
Okay, that's good.
It's a big part.
Yeah, and let's mention some of the KPIs or some of those things that show up on that report that might be beneficial to them.
Yeah, so we have a performance board that talks about their production, their appointments, their hygiene reappointment percentage, which is a huge one for practices, keeping the practice healthy and patients coming back on a consistent basis. And then we can dive into what we call our provider pulse that tracks the metrics by provider. So you can find where there are inefficiencies. If one provider's outperforming the others, we need to have a conversation on how the other ones can do a better job to grow the practice. We have a morning huddle that specifically breaks down what conversations you're going to have with the patients that are coming in that day, so you can be as efficient as possible with those that you're already visiting with.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit, because you brought up three things then. You're right. Like, I could spend a good amount of time talking to my clients about those things. It's like, let's say we pull up Dental Intelligence, those analytics, and I see certain numbers. I could easily see and tell them, hey, your hygiene department's underperforming. Or let's look at the provider codes that's being entered, right? Are we, I don't know, using the x-ray ones for the providers or the hygienists? How are we doing this? If there are multiple associates, as you said, if one is outperforming the other, what's the reason behind it? And then especially, let's say I'm the owner, I want to see what kind of an arrangement I got into with these providers based off of their agreements. If it's a percentage of the production or collection, I want to make sure that there's a certain percentage that I'm getting to keep as an owner based off of those numbers. So it's very important to be able to analyze those numbers and make important management decisions.
Yeah.
Now, talk a little bit about accuracy, because that data report is as good as the inputted
Correct.
numbers, right?
Yeah. And what's nice about Dental Intelligence, you don't have to operate differently than the way that you currently are.
Okay.
The biggest error that we see in the data reports is practices not rejecting treatment. So they might treatment plan and give them two options, and they leave. They go ahead and move forward with option A, and they leave option B as an open treatment plan when that's already been taken care of. So closing that out. So I have a lot of practices say, well, let me clean up my Dentrix, or let me clean up my Open Dental Eaglesoft before signing up with Dental Intelligence. I recommend against that, because Dental Intelligence helps expose that. And so you clean it up over the course of a year with us. You can compare when those patients come in. Oh, I needed to go reject that. Then it's easy to go in and reject that treatment plan.
Okay, that's good.
But you're right. Data in is data out, because we get everything that we have through the practice management software.
Right, that's true. Now, let's say if somebody signs on with Dental Intelligence, would you guys have like a key point person they can reach out to, talk to, who can walk them through the interface of the software or how to better use it?
Yeah, so when they sign up, they go through our onboarding process, depending on what level. Obviously, enterprise group practices have their own dedicated person that they meet with. But as far as 1-2 office location, they typically go through our onboarding process, which consists of training, setup, and then we do personalized strategy sessions with them to get them up and running.
Okay,
where I work is with partnerships, and so for those that are part of Edwards and Associates, we go in and we make sure that they're taken care of, and we follow what Edwards and Associates wants us to do with their clients. So if they don't want us talking about a certain part of the software because they have something that you guys work with, obviously, then we keep that between us, and then we only provide the practice what they need that will help them with Edwards and Associates. Right. So I run point on everybody that would be referred over by you. I can't fix things, but I make sure that I get the practices taken care of in a quick manner. I work with 75, 80 partners, and each of them have hundreds of practices, and I probably get from the clients 5 phone calls a month, maybe. So not very often. We have a great support organization, but yeah, they have all the training that they can need.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah. And then earlier, when we first spoke, you mentioned something about the growth, especially for a startup, right? Yeah. If they decide to use something like Dental Intelligence. Yeah, share a little bit about those numbers.
Yeah, Dental Intelligence has 2 parts, our analytics and then also our patient communication and engagement. So what that is specifically designed for is alleviating busy work. So it automates the forms, consents. We can do treatment planning, post-op follow-ups that are automated. So the front desk team doesn't have to focus on that. They can focus more patient-centric on having the more meaningful conversations to grow the practice. So a startup practice gets referred over to us. I don't necessarily encourage them to use analytics unless they have the financial means to do it. So if it's a startup, but it's an established dentist that's financially sound, start off with the analytics because then you're teaching the right things from the beginning. Startup, brand new dentist just graduating, I wouldn't recommend using our analytics right off the bat because there's not enough data for them to get the benefit. So once you start getting over 500, 750 patients of record is really when you want to start using something like Dental Intelligence, because one of the key things is treatment slipping through the cracks.
That's right.
9 out of 10 dentists, when we do a snapshot, we can review their data with them, didn't know they had as much outstanding treatment as they have. Wow. So we expose all of that, and then they can easily put 1 or 2 team members on calling those patients, and that's where we see that boost of production in that first 12 months.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm glad you actually brought this up because that's something we sometimes have a talk with our clients with. It's whenever they see existing practice, right, their numbers going down, they're thinking of like, oh, we need to put more money into marketing, right, to find those leads, until they use something like this where they realize you don't really have to spend more money. You always had them. You're just not converting them.
Yeah.
Right? But you need to look at those numbers to determine who needs a phone call again, or maybe a new recall program, something with the front desk team.
It's funny that you bring up marketing. Another KPI that we track, key performance indicator, is the new patient flow and attrition. So I could ask any dentist that's listening to this podcast, how many new patients did you get last month? And they'll be able to rattle off a number. How many patients did you lose last month is a question that they often don't know the answer to. When that comes into play is Dental Intelligence follows the ADA guidelines. If a patient hasn't been in the practice physically in the last 18 months, they're basically an inactive patient.
That's
so
right.
Statistically, we don't count them as an active patient. In our software, they're still marked active in the practice management system, but we mark them as an inactive patient and keep track of that number. So we have a little scorecard where you can go in and click on, hey, what's my practice growth look like? And it'll show you how many new patients you have, how many patients went inactive due to inactivity, and then also we track the number of recaptured patients, those that fell into inactivity that the practice reactivated. So they're not technically a new patient. Like you're saying, you can spend a ton of money on marketing, but you could also go after patients who already have an experience with you that just forgot or just got lazy and stopped coming back.
That's good. And then a lot of times, I have clients that'll talk to me about setting up some kind of a bonus system in their practice to incentivize the employees. especially the front desk people. And this would be a great way. So if you have access to something like the analytics of dental intelligence, pull up those numbers. Like if you set up a phone call with me, I can actually look at those numbers and tell you if somebody deserves a raise or if we should really look into implementing a bonus system, or maybe implement a bonus system, look at those numbers to see if it's actually working or not.
Yeah.
Should we continue this bonus plan, or should we get rid of it or find other ways to incentivize the team? So that's good. Again, we speak the same language, numbers,
Yeah,
right? It's just
exactly.
One is I don't know, one's being translated, the other is the one writing it, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're the one with the reports, and then the analytic reports,
Yeah.
and then we're having to translate it. So it's kind of amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's how different professionals from working in the same field can come together to make one organization successful.
Yeah. And I don't know if working with your clients, you've seen our follow-ups tool that's in our analytics. It does exactly what you'd mentioned. It puts together a plan of action for things that slip through the cracks and assigns it to specific individuals. And as they complete those tasks, it ties it to the production that was involved with the task. So it makes tracking bonus systems that much more efficient.
See, there you go. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So what other things? You also mentioned that it syncs in with the practice management software, right? What were they again?
Dentrix, Eaglesoft, and Open Dental.
Okay, all the
we,
big ones.
we have a brand new integration for our communication side with Dentrix Ascend.
Okay.
And the analytics will be coming out
Okay.
in 2026.
Okay. Now I did notice some of my clients also working with Henry Schein 1. They must be, it's completely new, but in the future.
So Henry Schein 1 is Dentrix or Dentrix Ascend.
Okay.
And
so
their
it's-
product suite.
okay.
So basically Henry Schein took all of their digital products
Gotcha.
and then created
Okay.
Henry Schein 1.
So you
Yeah.
guys can work with. Okay.
Correct, yeah. So Henry Schein 1 isn't a practice management software. It's a culmination
This
of the two different ones that they
Okay.
have. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on our episode today, CJ.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for listening today. Be sure to subscribe to Beyond by Wings on your favorite podcast platform. For more information, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, or reach out to us on our website. You can also shoot us an email at info@eandassociates.com.